All right, we're back with the lights back on. So the last thing that we talked about was that this point right here is where it stops increasing. So I should say that it is also increasing from 1 until this point we could say is 4, 3. So it's increasing from 1 to 4. So there's only one spot on this graph where it's decreasing, but there are 2 spots where it's increasing, here and here. So you'll notice that it says constant next. So constant is where your graph is flat. So from the point 4, 3 and onwards, our graph is going to be flat. So we're still going to use the x values only. So we'll say that it is flat or constant from 4 until infinity. It's going to go on forever. All right, the next thing we want to think about is symmetry. Symmetry is the idea that you could fold the graph in half and have it be the same on both sides. That is definitely not happening here, so we can say that this graph has no symmetry or none. Or we could say NA. So any of those is an appropriate answer. All right, the last thing we want to think about is end behavior. And this graph has kind of tricky end behavior, but I think we can handle it. So our graph is going in both directions for the negative numbers and the positive numbers. Let's look at the negatives first. So as x approaches negative infinity, as x goes this way, my function is pointing downward. So in terms of my f of x or my y value, you could use those interchangeably. As x gets smaller and smaller and smaller, my function is pointing down or also going towards negative infinity. As x goes to the right, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, the x values, this way. But my function, we already noticed that it was constant. So if it's constant, that means that the end behavior is not going up to infinity or down to infinity, but it's remaining flat. So we need to figure out, well, what value is this that it's remaining flat on? And judging by my dash marks here, it's flat on the y value of 3. So as x goes to infinity, my function is not going up or down, it's flat along this line. Y equals 3. So hopefully that helps clear some things up. And if you have any questions, please make sure you ask me in class.